Aha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Firelight finally has an official launch date on Flare. It's here, fam. It's here. And this is the moment XRP quietly becomes a real DeFi yield asset. Tonight, we're breaking down what launches, when it launches, and how XRP holders can position before the rush into a staked XRP and Firelight's insurance cover pools. We're going to get into it. Appreciate you guys checking in. Happy Talk That Talk Thursday. Yeah, they're live, fam. They are live. Well, they're not live. We have a launch date. We have a launch date, and that is pretty cool to see. It's a launch date. It's a launch date. It's here. What's going on, Pookie Pookie? Pay me an XRP is here and accounted for. Appreciate you, sir. Hey, Joseph C. What's up, brother? What's up? Let's talk that talk Thursday. Interesting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. I'm going to go over some stuff from X today, but yeah, the official word. What's up, Rupert? Rupert. What's up, Rupert? We got an official launch date for Firelight. That's pretty cool. I'm going to cover some stuff coming from the CEO at Centera. We'll cover some stuff on X, but it's here. It's finally here. And it's a pretty cool deal. And an XRP ETF launched as well. And let us not forget that Flare proposal from Dr. Shueti, is still out there. Still out there. And Hugo, commented on that as well. This Flare proposal, it's an interesting one. I think the timing is it's a little early, but it was a really good write-up as well. So a lot of good things going on in the digital asset space. And if you want the macro picture, I would highly recommend you check out Alessio Rastani, world-renowned trader, and Raul Paul, the global, founder and creator of the Global Macro Investor, the number one most successful financial newsletter in history. Or you can listen to the crypto YouTubers talking 4-year cycles and stuff like that. It's up to you. How you roll is up to you for sure. I appreciate you guys being here. Firelight launch date is set. Can't wait to share. Flare community. I think he kind of shared it a little bit today on X and on his YouTube channel as well. The Bitwise, what is it? XRP ETF launched. There was a Spaces on X today. My Spaces for some reason kept going in and out, in and out, in and out. I'd listen to it for a couple minutes, and then just would go out, listen to it for another 2, 3 minutes, and it'll go out. So I didn't get a chance to check out the whole thing, but I'm sure it was good. David Schwartz was on with the Bitwise. I think he's the Bitwise CIO, Matt Hogan, and Eleanor Terrett was the host of it all. So interesting, uh, interesting stuff. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I don't know what anybody know what the numbers are today. What the numbers were for the launch of it? Anybody got any Bitwise XRP ETF? They actually got the ticker XRP, which is interesting for to name their ETF. Really interesting. Anyone have any numbers? Uh, let's check out Bitcoin real quick. Make sure that's not. It was 86 earlier today. It's got up to 88. Now it's back to 87 and change, 87,000 and change. So anybody got any numbers on the Bitwise XRP ETF called XRP? I don't know. I don't have any numbers. Just wanted to know if you guys might have had some. I keep hearing the wrong thing here. Yeah. Payment XRP says it's crazy how the market's crashed hard on the day the Canary ETF launched, and now the Bitwise ETF launched. Things make you go, yeah. This market is interesting right now. Alessio Rastani did a great video today. Highly recommend you guys check it out about the history of apparently the death cross happened again here lately, and the history of these death cross and the history of Bitcoin and how it responds and first 30 days to 90 days after this death cross. You might want to check that out to get the bigger picture from a world-renowned trader. I think that's important to kind of do that. Let me find what I want to share with you guys. Let's get into this launch date. See if I can find it. There it is. I got it. I got it. All right. So let me share this real quick. Are we listening to anybody? Nope, not right now. I'll share with this. Share right now. Regular breaking news from Flare community says Firelight to launch XRP staking on the Flare network on December the 3rd. December the 3rd. On December 3rd, a new era of economic security begins with the launch of Firelight protocol. This marks the start of a new wave of DeFi activity that unlocks real utility for previously idle assets, beginning with XRP. There it is. We actually made it in 2025, not 2027. There it is. Get ready to fan the flames with us. So there's the news. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. December 3rd is the launch date. We got the official word. It's Talk That Talk Thursday. So there it is. Now what? It's launching. Here we got a date. What's that? 3 weeks? 17 days? Something like that. What is that? I don't know. How many days in this month? Might not even be 17 days. Might not even be 2 weeks. Right? It's what, 28, 29 days this month? I have no idea. How many days this month we got? 30 days. So there it is, 13 days. 12 days. 12 days. Not bad. If I can count. I think that's 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. I think this might be 13. Wait a minute. Today's the 20th. That's 9 days. 30, 1, 2, 3. 13 days. Yeah. Yeah. There it is, fam. It's a launch date. It is a launch date. We got it. I'm really excited about what Firelight has going on. I gotta tell you. Really excited for this launch. I think it's going to be phenomenal. Hugo put this out about what Firelight ultimately is looking to do. I think it was interesting. He retweeted the CEO, who calls himself CYH. Is that Cairo? It says why Firelight is much more than just cover. Interesting article. Hugo reposted this article and said Firelight will be the tool that brings new money into the DeFi, TradFi money. It will happen on Flare. XRP-based cover is the starting point for Firelight and Flare, but not the end point. We will need, in capital letters, all the assets to provide coverage. Read why below. Interesting. This is pretty cool. I'm going to go over that in just a second, but I wanted to share this news as well. More Markets is partnering with Firelight. More Markets is partnering with Firelight to unlock institutional grade rewards for XRP holders. At Firelaunch's launch, the XRP Flare account will allocate FXRP to Firelight. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. The more Markets is essentially telling you, yeah, we're gonna tap in. We're gonna give our customers access to this rewards as well. We're gonna tap into Firelight also. So very smart move. Very smart move. But let me cover this cover thing. Let me cover the cover. This is from the CEO of Centaura. Let's check out this article. Cover is a necessary primitive to onboard the next wave of institutional DeFi. DeFi growth will come from non-crypto natives, where exchanges and consumer finance apps become the gateway. This new client base values return of capital more than return on capital. So safety is the key. Smart contract risk is currently undefinable for non-native institutions and will remain a blocker for the foreseeable future. Traditional institutions undertake much riskier propositions than smart contract risk, but can do so because they have a framework that defines the risk and can quantify the risk reward opportunity. Expecting institutions to understand, build a risk framework, and staff a team to manage and value these risks is either impossible or will take too long. Firelight solves this by converting smart contract risk into collateralization risk, which is easily definable by large institutions. This is a key unlock. For cover to be viable, it needs to be commercial for both the supplier and consumer. This is where current models struggle. The core issue is that the assets, parentheses, ETH, used to cover risk have a higher cost of capital than what the cover buyer is willing to pay. Firelight solves this by unlocking the usability of zero-cost capital assets like XRP and XLM. Both are high-quality, large market cap, and liquid tokens that currently have no scalable use in DeFi. This means the base yield for these assets is zero, where an asset like ETH can return the staking rate 3% in parentheses or greater yield in DeFi, 5 to 7% for DeFi, around 3% staking. For ETH to be viable for cover, the buyer would need to be willing to pay above those yields, which in the current environment does not work. Firelight gives users the ability to stake XRP and XLM. Interesting. To earn yield by becoming the low-cost asset to cover high-yielding DeFi opportunities. Why would holders of high-quality assets such as XRP and XLM want to stake their assets to cover G-Gen activities? This is a common pushback we hear from the community, but it's built on false assumptions. Currently, XRP holders are unable to deploy their tokens into blue chip protocols like Aave and Morpho and earn a yield. It's safe to assume that if that use case existed, a large percentage of the holders would take the opportunity. The reality, though, is they can't take the opportunity. Firelight enables XRP holders to stake their assets to cover blue chip protocols, basically assuming equivalent risk as if they were able to deploy themselves. Furthermore, the yield that they can earn from Firelight by providing cover is much greater than could be achieved if XRP were an eligible asset in DeFi. So the reward is clearly defined. Let me say that again. This is two important little paragraphs here. Firelight enables XRP holders to stake their assets to cover blue chip protocols, basically assuming equivalent risk as if they were able to deploy themselves. Furthermore, the yield that they, XRP holders, can earn from Firelight by providing cover is much greater than could be achieved if XRP were an eligible asset in DeFi. So the reward is clearly defined. Moving on to the risk side. Firelight will not insure any protocol or asset issuer that requests coverage. The bar for coverage is set very high, focusing on blue chip assets, protocols, bridges, and oracles. I would think Aave and Lido for sure. Firelight's cover addresses key institutional DeFi risk, technical exploits, oracle and bridge failures, and economic breakdowns in top-tier protocols. Technical cover includes smart contract bugs, upgrade slant access control failures, and infrastructure exploits, explicitly covering Oracle risks. Manipulated fees, stalls, faulty aggregators, and bridge risk. Verification, slant signer failures, message passes bugs, cross-chain defects, leading to unrecoverable loss. Seems like to me that's something a major protocol would want to have, and then be able to say that and share that with the customers, current and new potential customers. Firelight's cover methodology determines covered risk, their likelihood, and required collateral for a simple framework. It uses a two-component risk model analyzing technical risk, smart contract quality, Oracle slant bridge design, testing, and incident history. Then there's the economic risk. Two models, two simple, very, very simple. Economic risk, collateral mix, liquidation mechanics, liquidity depth, and governance. Risk scores map to event probabilities, in parentheses, frequency, and severities, in parentheses, potential loss share. I like it. Risk scores map to event probabilities to calculate an expected loss per protocol. Aggregated expected losses determine collateral at risk. Capital guardrail ensure promised cover remains within risk parameters. Defining first loss capacity. Remember, the goal of Firelight is not to protect degens. It's to usher in the next $300 billion of TVL from users that favor capital safety over high yields. Let me welcome some more people to the stream before I continue on here. Do you understand what's going on? I talked about this a day or so ago, and I talked about the genius in which Firelight came to this marketplace. Like, as the working with Flare, seeing the bigger picture, aligning themselves with true decentralization, true security, and true scalability. They came with this. They came with that carrot of staking, right? They came with the carrot of staking. Flare said, "Yeah, and it'll be non-custodial." Right? Zaman Wallet said, and we're working on the smart accounts. You don't even have to leave the Zaman Wallet, which means you can stay on the XRPL. And then slowly but surely, Jesus from Firelight kept talking about this challenge with insurance, right? Just piecemealing it in to the community, just piecemealing it in, just piecemealing it in. And to me, the end goal, this was the end goal. This what they were talking about economically. What is it? This ESS, economically secured services, and yeah, cool, awesome. But the bigger picture was this cover. The bigger picture was this cover. This is what institutions is going to be like. What? Yeah. Remember, the early part of that article was this was about people who were more interested in the return of their capital as opposed to the return on their capital. That's what we call being ergodic, practicing ergodicity. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Payment XRP, you got almost 70 FXRP by doing what, bro? Delegation rewards? Nice, man. That's not, that's sweet. Seed of Wisdom says, can we stake with Bifrost? Not sure. With the Bifrost wallet. I'm not sure. But I would imagine it's coming, but I am not sure, to be honest. All I know is that Zaman reached out to Flare and they worked together to get that. But I would imagine they're going to make these smart accounts available to all the wallets. But the team from Bifrost is going to have to, work out with the team from Flare Networks. But right as of now, I don't think so. Oh, you did the FLR as collateral. I was wondering if that was worth it. Um, and when would it become really, really worth it? By the way, the cap keeps going up in terms of minted FXRP. It just keeps getting going up, keeps going up. So you unwrapped some of that some of the FLR and providing collateral in those pools, right? Gotcha, gotcha. Good for you, bro. Good for you. All right, let me continue on. Welcome to the stream, Seed of Wisdom. Appreciate you checking in. Let's get back to this thing. This is fire. All right, so remember, the goal of Firelight is not to protect degens. It's to usher in the next $300 billion of TVL from users that favor capital safety over high yield. Had a little back and forth on X, trying to remind this dude that he didn't understand what he was talking about. This is the goal. Firelight stakers will be offered multiple risk tiers, but will not have the ability to opt in or out of specific protocols. So you're going to pick your risk tier, and then that's it. You're going to pick your risk tier. What is your risk tier? I cannot wait to put my XRP over here. I mean, I just can't wait. Because for me, I'm thinking 5 and 10 years from now, I'm thinking of the 300 billion of TVL that's going to come into this place and come into this market, and you're going to want the assets that I already hold. You understand? It's the bigger picture. Each of us need all of us, and all of us need each of us. For the economics of Firelight to be commercial for both buyer and seller, the covered positions need to be a diversified pool of protocols, assets, bridges, and oracles, as opposed to a single safe protocol or pool. Firelight adopts the concept of diversification, which is at the core of traditional insurance and risk management. By allocating to a diversified pool, no singular market event should cause losses across spectrums of risk. Users cannot select individual risk, but they can choose where in the waterfall they want to allocate their capital. As an XRP staker, users will be able to choose between 3 tranches: first, second, and third loss. The first loss tranche will be hit first in any exploit, but receive the highest yield, with the third loss being the safest but has the lowest yield. Based on the above, the risk reward should now be clear and attractive for XRP stakers in Firelight. Indeed. Indeed. Now, as for me in my home, I'm going in the third. I'm already earning yield. I'm going in the third. The idea is to be recoverable in your moves, not, is it irrecoverable or unrecoverable? That's for me, because, I practice ergodicity, but you have to make your own choice. Based on the above, the risk reward should now be clear and attractive for XRP stakers from Firelight. Question: how can Firelight offer attractive yield for stakers and be cost effective for buyers? It's a great question. This goes back to traditional insurance frameworks. No insurance company has enough capital on hand if all policyholders die on the same day. That is not what they are solving for. Instead, They create a diversified pool of policyholders. And through diversification, they can employ leverage. The traditional insurance model targets 5 to 7x leverage between capital on hand to meet claims versus assets insured. Through this balance of diversification and leverage, they can achieve an economic model that makes the offer attractive for both the buyer and the seller. Firelight will work similarly, but target a much lower leverage ratio of 2.5 to 1. Furthermore, Firelight Foundation will contribute its own balance sheet and a high percentage of profits to the first loss tranche. This will show the community that we are committed to strict underwriting rules. And instead of just saying it, we will back it with our own capital. While Firelight has been incubated by Centura, a firm that has helped its customers operate safely with billions of TVL in DeFi for half of a decade, the project will be completely spun out in a year. This is crucial, right? They're going to be launching in phases. We're launching in phases. I'm about to get that fly. It's in my house for some odd reason. For that to happen, let me see. This is crucial as we believe Firelight will be a public utility to serve the purpose of advancing DeFi. They're launching in phases. First one's kind of like some point stuff, right? I like it. This is crucial as we believe Firelight will be a public utility to serve the purpose of advancing DeFi. For that to happen, Firelight needs to stand on its own, free of conflict of interest. Very cool. This post intends to lay out the value proposition of Firelight and clearly define the goal as being a tool to onboard the next 300 billion into DeFi. Sweet. That is really, really good. And I like its direction. I like they have a goal, they have a plan. They have massive experience. Remember, like a lot of people sleep on Centura. Centura's been working with major players in this space for a minute. They've been working with Ripple for a minute. They've been in this space doing their thing and working with some awesome players, some big players. Yeah, well, that's interesting too. Pay me an XRP. Yeah, I heard that. Payment XRP is talking about this providing collateral. My guy Steve has been talking about that for a minute now, and I did reach out like in terms of the how much it's would you need to provide dollar values for it to be worth it, right? So because I'm a little bit more risk averse because of Celsius, you got to understand that. So it says yes, sir, it's unwrapped, but you still get delegation rewards and flare drops as if they were still wrapped. Yep. Only now, in addition, you also get FXRP. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now it's a different level of risk, right? Because there's still a liquidation risk there. So it ups the risk a little, but yeah, you're correct. Rick Cisneros, what happened to your name, bro? What happened there? You got a different thing. Got a lot of ats on my thing here. I wonder why I got that. Anyway, maybe that's YouTube. Exactly, CJ. I cannot wait for the Firelight Vaults. I said it before. I am going big when it comes out. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Just think of that process. XRP minted to FXRP. For those people, a little alarmed about going somewhere to mint, you got the Zaman wallet. You're gonna be able to do it from the Zaman wallet. Just hanging out on the XRP. I'll never have to leave it. It's genius. And the fact that Hugo and the team at Flare were willing to do it and think about the holder and be chain agnostic, if you will. Think about the holders of the assets. Right? They didn't have to work with Zaman and they didn't have to do that. Smart to do that. It was smart for Bitget Win to reach out. Say, and they could have Hugo could have said, no, no, you got to use our bridge, man. You got to use our bridge. No, they came up with these accounts because this is what the future is. These smart accounts is the future. Being able to tap into any chain by way of Flare is the future. Big time, especially for assets like Bitcoin, XLM, and XRP. Especially. Yep. So the launch date, December 3rd. Peter Summers, 3.5 billion insured in crypto DeFi 2025, expected to grow to 16.94 billion by 2029. Yeah, it's big. This is going to be a big deal. And Hugo, remember Hugo's post said for all assets we'll need this cover or we'll want to have this cover. So, yeah, I love this approach. Absolutely love it. And absolutely love that XRP holders are going to have a significant say in the success of this DeFi cover, which is a cover for all of DeFi. Think about that. And XRP holders are going to have a large say in that by participation. That's big. In my view, that is really, really big. And for me, I'll take whatever rewards are going to be. But for me, it's participating to make our space better. Participating by in doing so, making the space better than traditional finance. So yeah, I'm going to be participating for sure. I'll start out in that third tranche for sure. I'll start there. I don't chase the game. We let the game come to us. So I'll start out in the third tranche and go from there. But see how it goes. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. It's here. We got a launch date, fam. December the 3rd. Firelight. Now, I think this first part is, you're staking, but and I'm not sure if you're getting points for staking. I know that part, and it's phase 1. Phase 2, I think, is where the vaults come in. Payment XRP says fortune favors the brave. Yes, sir. Rick Cesaneto says Evernorth will use the Firelight vaults in their treasury management to gain yield for their shareholders. I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. Why wouldn't they take a portion of the XRP and do that? I remember Evernorth is going to be in that camp of it's more important for their return of capital than the return on capital. CJ, you just read that they will pay the first payout. Think about that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's massive, right? They're all in. And I love that, from their own coffers for the first, what do they call it? It's the first and second tranche, first, second, third tranche, or first, second loss. First, second, and third loss. First loss. Yeah, I mean that's big. That is absolutely big. And this is what we need. And I wanted to win. We want to be able to say to people can come into DeFi and it's not completely risk-free, but just having this cover, the protocol is having this cover, which means the user is going to have a certain level of cover. This is big. It's absolutely big. Absolutely. I mean, especially for the boomers who hold XRP, bunch of boomers. So we want that for sure. So, and it's going to be on Flare. It's launching on Flare initially. So shout out to the Firelight team, man. I'm excited. Can't wait. December 3rd is the date, fam. Just wanted to let you know. Just wanted to hop on here and share the great news that it's going to launch. Just talk that talk Thursday. And that is, I think, is just awesome to see it launching. I think it's really, really cool. The XRP ETF is big with Bitwise. I wish someone had some numbers. I don't know any numbers on the close of business today in terms of Bitwise let's see if Bitwise put anything out. Yeah. Oh, let me cover this question too, but let me let's see, how do I do it? Yeah, let me do this. And let me see if we got some Bitwise numbers. I know the people over Canary were congratulating Bitwise on their launch. Bitwise. 11 hours ago. Do we get any numbers? I didn't see any numbers. If you guys know about any numbers, post it on X. Please let me know. I wanted to share this one question that someone had underneath this article, so you guys will know this as well. I think that's interesting. All right, so let's go here. Share. There's a question underneath this article. Great article. All right. It says, thanks for this breakdown. One thing I am confused about, says Tarzan Jedi of the Jungle. Let's say I have 90 FXRP minted and I want to place 30 in Vault 3, 30 in Vault 2, and 30 in Vault 1. Will this be permissible? So he wants to diversify his risk, right? Smart. Will this be permissible? The way I read the explanation, it looked like I could only place into one vault. No, no, no. So the CEO responded, says, yes, for sure, and assume many would follow the same path. So that means, yeah, you'll be able to do that. You can't pick the protocols within the vault. You can't pick the bridges within each vault. You can't pick the oracles within each vault. That's the job for Firelight. But you can diversify into each one of those vaults yourself, sure. So, no, I couldn't find anything on the Bitwise numbers, but the XRP ETF did launch. I think that is awesome. I think that's great to be able to even say that. The XRP ETF did launch. Really do. So, uh, there that is. Payment XRP says, who checked in? Crawbilly's checked in. What's going on, Crawbilly's? Marine Chino, Flare DeFi. Yes, sir. It's getting better, Crawbillies. It's getting better, my guy. It's getting better. Payment XRP says, I don't feel fear of being liquidated. That would mean an agent reneges, which they have no incentive to do. There's too much riding on this uh, if the institution is still comfortable enough to do, so do I. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. Payment XRP says, I'm at a point where I'm not trying to protect my wealth. I'm at the point where I'm still trying to create it. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. For sure. I hear you. Yeah, for me, that L Celsius, that was a massive L, right? That was a massive L, right? Of one asset, you know, just one asset, not all the other assets. Just one was, you know, that was a yeah, that was a big one. Uh J Dell 2151. What's going on? Says CJ, my man. What's good? Did your name change? All these at symbols are really messing me up. Appreciate you checking in, J Dell. Peter Summers, hot on the line. Yes, sir. So there it is, fam. I wanted to share the good news with you guys. I'm gonna hop off here. Um, this is really, really cool. This is really, really awesome. We got a date launch for Firelight. I hope people are taking my message to heart. I just think here we are, early adopters in this new asset class, and think about the fact that as XRP holders, we get to participate, really uh, the significance of the XRP holders to want to see this cover for DeFi succeed. And it's for the whole space. This DeFi cover is going to be for the entire space of DeFi. I mean, and our assets are going to play a large part in that win. I think that is awesome. And I believe, I don't know yet, but it feels as though it, that participation is going to be rewarded handsomely. I mean, the guy literally said that, you know, the yield is going to be, better than that kind of yield out there if you just took XRP somewhere, if you were able to do it. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be a pretty cool deal. It's going to be a pretty cool deal. So the dream of never having to sell our assets is coming more and more true every single day. How blessed are we to be here early in this space? How blessed are we? How blessed are we, right, to be here early? So, all right, fam. Thanks so much for hopping in. Do me a favor, if you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That'd be super cool. You know how we do? We like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Do me a favor, if you've been enjoying these hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are got a mad goal to get to 10,000 subs this month. Will you help us get there? All it takes for you to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.